Hi, my name is Pam. On January 31st, 2023, I was told that I had DCIS in my left breast. They told me this was stage 0, grade 3, high risk. As you can imagine, my world completely changed. But this is going to be a video of hope because my ultimate goal is to completely heal naturally without any medical intervention. I'm 55 years old. I have 2 daughters, and they are 21 and 24. My first husband passed away from cancer 11 years ago, so there's a lot of mental scarring from cancer in our family. I am remarried, and I've been remarried for 6 years now. So when I found out, I just could not believe what I was listening to. I never heard of DCIS. I was told it was stage 0 cancer, which I also never heard of stage 0. The only thing I knew about was stage 1 to 4. So for 2 days, I did not tell anybody. I was in shock. I just could not believe it. Was trying to wrap my head around this diagnosis and how in the world this was possible that I could be told that I had cancer. And I think bottling it up for a couple of days probably made it even worse, because once I let it out, it started to kind of ease up on me. And I didn't even tell my husband for a couple of days. So as I started to talk about it, I started to, feel a little bit better. And in less than a week after I was given the diagnosis, I was sent to a surgeon. So I went to the surgeon's visit with my husband, and in both of our minds, she was going to tell me that she was going to do a lumpectomy. So I knew that there were 2 things by this point. I knew that there was a lumpectomy and a mastectomy. But in my mind, I thought, okay, this is grade 0. They're going to do a lumpectomy. But she told me that she would need to do a mastectomy because the area was too large, and if she did a lumpectomy, it wouldn't look right. So at that point, again, I just could not wrap my head around the idea of a mastectomy. And I said to her, well, can't we just watch this and see what happens? And she told me that if I wanted to watch it, that she would not be my doctor, which was just another very shocking statement to hear. And at that moment I was thinking, well, if she doesn't want to be my doctor, then maybe this is really serious and not something that I should be watching. So I started to ask some more questions, and she said that she had other patients and she did not have any more time to spend with us. So I left that appointment, not feeling well at all. This was not something that I ever saw in my future. The lucky thing for me was that I found a program online, chrisbeatcancer.com, and I had signed up for it maybe the day before the surgery appointment, and I had purchased the course, which included a membership into their a private Facebook group. So in the private Facebook group, I posted about my diagnosis and what happened in the visit with the surgeon. And I got so many responses of support and telling me to fire that doctor. This was not the kind of doctor that I wanted. And then I had time to think about it. I didn't need to be rushed into making a decision about surgery. The surgeon told me that I needed to get it done within the month. And meanwhile, I had just found out about this breast cancer a week before. So this was a lot, from going to feeling healthy to all of a sudden being told that somebody wants to remove one of my breasts. So anyway, I received so much support and so many people telling me the same thing, that, I was very lucky. It was stage 0. Take it slow. Do your research, and that I didn't have to make a decision right away. So I just started to feel better and better with each support comment I got. And believe me, the comments kept coming probably for 3 days. And I started to feel more and more empowered. And one of the pieces in the Chris Beat Cancer Program is around nutrition. And I already considered myself a really healthy person and really watched what I ate. But I realized that I needed to eat to have whatever cancer was in me just dissolve. So I was no longer just, eating without thoughts, but every bite I put in my mouth, it really needed to be something that was going to be healing to me. And in the course, he does talk about exactly what that is. But he also talks about other things that can bring cancer on, such as stress, which I have had a lot of stress in my life. And I've decided to kind of take some of the things that were causing stress and bring them down a notch. And so, in the beginning, my husband said, well, let's slow the business down some. And I was like, no, I don't really think we need to do that. But about a week or 2 at the most later, I realized, yeah, I really did need to slow that down. So that was good. And another thing was that he talks about in the program is exercise, and how exercise really is so powerful in helping to get cancer to leave the body. And I had definitely been neglecting the exercise piece for a while. I have been meditating and doing breathing exercises for about 11 years, but I had really gotten lazy on the exercise piece for many different reasons. So I started exercising again, really eating with a focus on healing. And I just started doing that a few weeks ago, and I lost 7 pounds. I was not trying to lose weight, but I lost 7 pounds within a couple of weeks. And now my weight has pretty much stabilized. And I also noticed that I lost a lot of chronic pain that I had had for a long time. For quite some time in the morning when I got up to do my yoga, I was not able to do it and sometimes it was even hard for me to get out of bed because I was in a lot of pain. So it's very interesting that I really think it's what I'm putting in my body now. There was probably a lot of inflammation in there. And what I'm putting in my body now, which is a lot of juices, a lot of fresh juices. So I'm taking vegetables and putting them in the juicer. And I am having about 8 juices a day, which is considered dosing when you're trying to cure cancer. So having them throughout the day, let's say one every hour or every hour and a half, and just putting those fresh squeezed nutrients into my body. So that's been wonderful. And I've been eating mostly vegetables, some nuts and seeds, and some legumes. So everything that I'm putting in my body, every single thing I've been putting in my body the last few weeks has been something that is healing to the body. And I know that it's working because I feel so much better. I mean, I really do. I feel so much better. I do still have some pain, but it has decreased probably 90%, which is huge. I mean the chronic pain, because as far as my breast goes, there's no pain. There's nothing that you can see, and there's nothing that you could feel to notice that something is going on in there. So the way that this was found out was I went for my annual mammogram, and then they saw a lot of calcifications that they said were concerning. So they had me go for a biopsy. And I had to do 2 biopsies the same day, and they biopsied the 2 outer areas. And both of those outer areas came back as grade 0, stage 0, grade 3. And the area in question it's 6.2 centimeters by about 4 centimeters by about 3 centimeters. So it's a large area. So I really, I didn't jive with the first surgeon. So the lady who is the nurse coordinator, she recommended that I go to a different surgeon that she thought I would like a lot better. So I went to that surgeon last week, and my mother came with me to that one. And this surgeon was much more people-oriented, much easier to talk to, and she explained things a lot better. But she also told me the same thing, that my only choice was a mastectomy. So that was not nice. It was not a good thing to hear at all. In my mind, I had hopes that going to another surgeon, that she was going to tell me something different, but she didn't. She told me that if I did the mastectomy, that I would not need to do any other treatments. I would not need to take, I think it's called tamoxifen. It's a pill that you take every day for 5 years to stop the estrogen. That I forgot to say, it was estrogen positive. And just being in kind of the natural world for many years now, the last thing I want to do is chop off a body part or take pills for 5 years. It's just not in the plan in my head for my life. It's just not something I really would lightly agree to. It would take a lot for me to agree to it. But with this doctor, I asked her, what would it look like if I watched it? And she said that I would have a mammogram 6 months from when I had the first one, which would be, I would have another one in July, and we could take another look and see how it's going. So that was how we left the office. We agreed that we weren't going to do anything. She was still going to be my doctor. And she did explain to me that whatever thoughts I had about mastectomy was the way they did it in the past, and that it is much different now, much quicker, easier, and much better results, and nobody would even know that I had one. So she explained what that was like, and in my mind I said to myself, okay, the way she explained it, if I have to do that, I have to do it, and it doesn't sound so terrible. So I agreed to make an appointment with the plastic surgeon so that he could explain it to me. So I felt like, okay, if I do have to do that at some point, let me at least be prepared and understand what exactly is the process here and what should I expect. But yesterday, the plastic surgeon's office called, and they just wanted me to make an appointment really quickly. And in my mind, I said, you know what? I'm not ready to go there. I'm not ready to listen to this. I'm not even ready to think about that there is a possibility that I would have to do this. So I told the lady, I'm just not ready, and I'll call you when I'm ready. So that was how that went. But meanwhile, I've been really engaged in listening to the course that I purchased from ChrisBeatCancer.com. It's so encouraging. Every time I listen to modules from the course or listen to his interviews with cancer survivors who healed themselves naturally, I get so inspired. It totally calms me down, and I feel so much better. So that has just been just the hugest blessing being a part of that group. I just feel like God's leading me in all these amazing ways. And because of that group, I'm being led to different things, different books, other different groups, other YouTube videos that are good to listen to. So 2 other things that I found out is, well, one of them is I have had an elevated prolactin level for probably at least 16 years. I don't even remember when I was diagnosed with it. But when I was first diagnosed with it, I was told to get an MRI because high prolactin level is associated with a pituitary tumor, which is a benign tumor. So all those years ago, I went and had the MRI, and sure enough, there was a pituitary tumor in there. I was on some medication for a little bit after that, and I was seeing, through an endocrinologist that I was referred to. Well, I have not been to an endocrinologist for many years now. I haven't taken any medicine for it. Each year, my prolactin level comes back high. It comes back somewhere around 40, and it should be around, I think it should be around 7. But this year, for my annual physical, which was in November 2022, it came back at 117. So I decided it's time to go get an MRI. Went and got the MRI. My pituitary tumor had not changed at all. I was referred to an endocrinologist, and he told me that he could shrink the pituitary tumor by me taking a medication 2 times a week, and it would take a while, like a year or 2, before it would shrink. But the idea was that with it going away, that my prolactin level could go to normal. So I thought, wow, this is great. Nobody ever told me that that was a possibility. And I agreed to take that medicine. But a week later came the diagnosis of the breast cancer. So I ended up doing some research and found out that a high prolactin level is associated with breast cancer. And I had never been told that, and I was really surprised to hear that. And I did end up messaging that doctor to confirm it, which he did confirm. Now, one thing on Cancer is he talks about there's a correlation between low vitamin D level and cancer. And he said, get your vitamin D level checked. Well, I noticed that at my annual physical, they have not been checking my vitamin D. I don't know why. My annual physical was in November. My sister asked me about my vitamin D, and I said, I don't know. And she said, you need to have it checked. So another doctor I've been going to has been a hematologist who is also an oncologist, because I had to end up getting iron infusions a year and a half ago because I was severely anemic. So anyway, I was going for a regular checkup with him in January, and they did not order vitamin D to be tested, but because my sister told me to have it tested, I asked them to test it, and they did. So that was in January. Today is the end of February. Yesterday, today's February 28th. So yesterday, because of what I read about on Cancer, I called them up and I said, how do I get access to my lab results? So she gave me access right away. I went in there, and my vitamin D was low. It said low right on it. And I think the number was 22, and it should be much higher than that. So I immediately knew that, you know, between the prolactin level being so high and the vitamin D level being so low, those were two things that could be having an effect of why I have this breast cancer right now. Could be a piece of the puzzle. So I sent a message to them, and they ended up calling me this morning and told me they were sending in a prescription for a high dose of the vitamin D, where I take this gel cap once a week. I forgot, it's 50,000 units. I forgot exactly how it is, but it's pretty high. So I started taking that. I took one today, and then I'll continue to take that for 8 weeks, and then I'll be retested again. There's also an alternative doctor that I've been seeing for many years, and he practices a medicine called Ayurvedic medicine, which is a very, very ancient medicine. And from him, I learned today that he told me when the vitamin D level goes up, that the prolactin level should go down. And the other two doctors didn't tell me that. The hematologist didn't say anything about it, and the endocrinologist didn't say anything about it. So it was really nice to talk to someone today that tied it together for me. So that was great. So that was happy news. And I really want to keep doing more of these videos, because I honestly feel like I'm trying to compress everything that happened in a month. So there's probably a lot of stuff I'm forgetting, but I cannot believe I've been doing a lot of my own research and listening to so many different videos and reading so many different things. And I just feel like I keep learning and learning and learning. And there's so many people healing themselves of cancer without doing treatments, or maybe with doing some treatments and also doing natural things so that their healing comes about quicker and a much better outcome than if they only did Western medicine, which would be surgery, chemo, radiation, and medicine. And, you know, all of those things have pretty serious side effects, very, very serious side effects, and it can be harmful. So anyway, my goal is to heal myself naturally, and I am going to share with you updates as they come up, because each day I can't believe that there could be anything new that could come up, and then the next day something else happens, and it's just like, wow, another revelation happened. um I am open to God to sending me to people that can help me, books that can help me, videos that can help me. And of course, this crispycancer.com, I cannot say enough about it. If you have been diagnosed with cancer, or you know someone who's been diagnosed it, go on that website. It is invaluable. I am just so grateful that I found it. I did know about it before I got this diagnosis, which is how I found it so quickly, but I had never actually been on it. I had just heard good things about it from some other groups that I'm in, some health food groups that I'm in on Facebook. And so I knew that name in my head, and I went to it and I listened to just one video, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to buy this course. And it was less than $200. So honestly, it's already paid for itself a million times over in how much incredible information and support that I have gotten. So anyway, that is my first video. I hope that this was helpful. I hope it gives someone out there inspiration that we can heal ourselves. And if we need some medical intervention, okay, we do, but we also can at least heal ourselves in some way, whether it's mind, body, spirit. All three would be wonderful. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video, whenever that is. I'm not sure.